Can you take your coat off? Okay.
She didn't want to. She doesn't want to. She's cold. Leave her alone.
My whole life, I've had two different careers. I've worked with vulnerable older people for the last 14 years of my life. And before that, I was working as a researcher and director in the BBC. And although when I worked in the BBC, I was studying, collecting the stories of, if you like, well-known famous people, it struck me in the second half of my career that working with older people, working with vulnerable people, that group of people never had their story told, they never had their voice heard, and yet the stories that I was hearing from that, especially older people, were incredible. And I just felt very sad that no one was actually capturing these stories. That you painted yourself,
yeah,
isn't it?
I did, yeah.
Amazing.
And I love it, and I'm really glad I've done it. Jude came, but actually I asked her to come earlier because I had so much stuff to sort through. I could not believe how many photographs and stuff that I had. And it's really helped me sort through things which I've been putting off for ages because at first my excuse was looking after my husband, but this has really made me sit down and sort through things properly.
And then you'll be able to have your film. The other thing that set me off, I think, was my own dad, who's now in his 90s, and he's got a whole wealth of stories from the war. He can remember dogfights going on in the sky between bombers and Spitfires, and I thought, if I don't capture these memories of his, they will vanish, and there must be so many other hundreds and hundreds of people who would value having their memories captured. Nigel, can you move out slightly towards your mum a bit? A bit more, step in towards your mum. That's fantastic, thank you. So, whenever you're ready, we'll do this. I'm amazed at how quickly people actually settle down once they forget the technology. So I wouldn't want people to be put off by the fact that they are being filmed. At the end of the day, it's a conversation between me and that person, and the technology is a kind of an irrelevance in a way. It's the content of what they're saying that's important. So anyone thinking about having a video done, don't be put off by the technology. We make it very informal, and it's like a conversation, really.
The door opened and a guy with his gun stood there, and he said, everybody just be calm, but I want all your... She just asked the right questions, really. I think it helped having had a conversation before with her, you know, and also she had read my book, so she knows. She knew a bit of the background, which was good. From the seminary.
Right.
And you know.
So was he a little boy when you taught him then?
He was 15 when I knew him and Hannah Cheese and Jose.
So I try to find out at the kernel of what it is that they want to tell me, what the important thing is in their life that they want to remember.
That was our second station.
Every single person, I believe, has something worthwhile to say, and that, you know, that should be captured. All the letters that you ever wrote. It's a great legacy when someone passes on to actually have that person preserved, if you like, digitally, so that their expressions, their gestures, the sound of their voice is there forever. So I think it's a really precious gift.
She just talked easily, just like person to person. It was really good.
So I want you to take me back to the incident where you were held up at gunpoint, which is very scary. So can you tell me about that story?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We were coming home for a month's holiday.
If I'm honest, that it's my job to actually find out what that exciting story is. You know, it's all a matter of perspective, but it could just be a life well lived that they want to talk about. It could be they want to talk about their beliefs, their values, what's important to them. They can leave that as a footprint, if you like, for their own children and their own grandchildren. So you don't have to have an amazing story to tell. You just need to be able to want to leave something, a legacy, if you like, for your children and friends.